Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very cool unboxing, something that's a first for my channel and I'm super excited to share with you guys. I have a box of something that was shipped to me that came in from a particular knife manufacturer. I guess our channel here that you guys have been part of and supporting and subscribers, which I so appreciate, has finally grown enough that they recognize that there's enough of all of y'all out there who are watching this that they might want to send some things so that we can share these things. And I want to get into this box and talk a little bit about what it means and then have a chance to take a look at it together. So without further ado, let's kind of dig into this, all right? So this is a really cool unboxing. I know we got a tab, but hey, today I want to open this with my CJRB Pyrite limited edition. This is the titanium one in black PVD with the S35VN blade steel. This is one of my favorite knives. I really enjoy this. All right, let's see, any paperwork? No paperwork. Well, if you didn't know, this is a CJRB, a cool knife that, let's see here, what do we have? This is the J1925A. So let's take a look and see what that is, all right? Here we go. I always like their boxing. They're really, really cool. Nice little silicate pack. Very cool box here, indeed. All right, nice pouch. If you didn't know, these pouches are really, really nice. Oh, another silicate pack. All right, here we go. Let's see what this is. Well, it is a steel version of something you might have seen before, but I think this is a little different. No thumb stud, if you notice. It is steel. You can see that. It's got the standoffs in the back, deep pocket carry clip, which is really nice. Nice clip there as well. Let's see here, how's that blade? That blade is beautifully centered, definitely, and it doesn't round about, so that's interesting, huh? So it is a button lock, and I love how their button lock is so recessed. I don't know if you can see that. Really good job at recessing that button lock, which kind of gets out of the way. Well, let's go ahead and open this. Yes. You see that? This is the Pyrite with a beautiful Wharrencliffe blade. Isn't that really cool? I really like that a lot. So, yes, a CJRB Pyrite in a Wharrencliffe blade. Isn't that just amazing? Look at that. I love that nice drop here at the front. Really, it's got a nice, beautiful little pokey there. So if you need to get into some boxes, need to get in fertilizer, cat food, dog food, soil for your garden, the plastic around your case of water or your sodas, works really nice. And let's look at that beautiful drop. Look at that, just really nice and drops beautifully. I love that. That is really nice. Let's see, because it's a button lock, there's nothing getting in the way. Oops. Of course you get, except for me, it deploys really great left-handed as well. Oh, that is nice. I like that a lot. And that button lock is just really great. And of course, with the button lock, you can always deploy it just with the button lock as well. So there we go. Really nice. And oops, let's do that again. That was terrible. All right, so that is the AR. Can you all see that? That's the AR RPM9 blade steel. That's Artisan Cutlery's proprietary powdered steel. It's equivalent to like the 14C28M or something like the Nitro V or any of those really great budget steels. I think this is something that you would really, really be able to use well. It has some corrosion resistance, retain the edge fairly well. It is a budget steel. There's no question about it because the price of this knife is, when you get a chance, I have a link in my description to Artisan Cutlery where you can get this directly from them. Please take a look at that. It is an affiliate link, so if you do that, it does help the channel and I would really appreciate that. But they have links for this and a black version of this as well. This is the silver version, but the black one as well, which I think would be really nice. I have obviously the black limited edition, and I had a black one of these as well in the steel version, and I actually sold that to a friend who really, really wanted it, and I've always wanted to get some more to give away as gifts, but this right here is really, really, really cool. This is the steel, and I love this kind of stone wash finish. You can see that. It's really nice. Now it is, you know, some people say it's kind of slick, but I don't think it's super, super slick. I mean, oops, sorry. I mean, I guess if you're dealing with something and you have oil in your hands and stuff, yeah, definitely maybe get the black one or something. That would definitely be an alternative to that, but I think the way I use my knives, I use the clip quite a bit, and I'm able to do that very easily. Now, one thing I think you'll also notice here that's really cool about this, like my limited edition doesn't do this, you can actually reverse that pocket clip. Do you see that? The clip comes in here and it'll reverse over here. So lefties rejoice. You will be able to have a clip for the left-handed, so you can pull out and lefty deploy, and you'll be able to grab the clip right there like that. So it is a reversible clip. That I think is awesome. So this makes it a, you know, left right-handed carry. I love the fuller, which is really nice for deployment. I mean, I can still flick it with my middle finger flick here on this, which is one thing I like to do. Well, of course, doing it for the camera and I can't do it, but I can middle finger flick this, put my finger right here in the middle and just pop it out. But man, that fuller gives you just a really nice snap open. You can hear that. Pop that open and just do it with some authority, right? Which is really nice. You know, you can do it front flicking and reverse flicking, which is really nice. But let's take a look at this now. So this edge, yeah, it's really nice and sharp. And look at that. Let's take a look at that edge. Yeah, it's a pretty good even edge all the way to the front and to the back. Let's see on the other side. Yeah, that's a very nice level edge. I like that. And I like the finger choil. You can still choke up on this puppy right here for that nice cut, precision cut. And definitely, you know, that's the nice thing about a Wharrencliffe. You can do some really precision cutting like that. So if you're doing a lot of work, like this is one of those self-healing mats where you can cut on. So if you're cutting paper, you could really do that well, right? That's really nice. And I love the jimping up here. They still have the jimping that gives you some good traction up here. Now I have medium to medium large hands, if you notice. So they're large width-wise, but they're medium length-wise. So I have plenty of room here. I think even extra large maybe to, I'm going to say maybe even a 2X. If you're willing to kind of hang over this edge right here, I think you'll have plenty of room. Definitely if you choke up. Absolutely, all day long. Now, if you have really, really fat fingers and you want to get that finger all the way up there, you're going to get a little close to that edge. There's no doubt. But if you're willing to kind of keep your finger in nice and tight like that, you'll have no problem using it like that. And you can definitely do a good, solid push cut. I like that. Now, it's a full flat edge all the way down. Yeah, that's nice and thin. Definitely nice and thin. It's not a really fat edge down here. It comes down nice and thin. And you can see already that it's not a very thick blade stock. I'm going to guess when we do the full review, this is going to be probably, I'm going to guess about 0.1 inch, so 1/100th of an inch, I'm going to say. So 1/10 of an inch, basically, I would venture to say. Now, some people have complained that there's lock stick. I don't feel that. Like, I never felt it here. Mine is perfectly wonderful, but as with any button lock, when they first come out, they are going to have a little bit, you know, it's going to wear in a little bit and get that nice break-in point. And I'll put a little bit of oil in there. And what I typically do with my button locks, I put like the heavy gauge nano 85 weight oil. I'll put that into those heavy areas. I do that like on axis locks. I do that on, like I did it on my shark lock, my Andrew Demko 8020.5, but I'll put a little bit in there, and especially around the area where the button goes in and out, and the channel that the button goes into, and that also includes the spring inside. So obviously that'll give it a little bit of a extra kind of a lubrication, but not the real slick oil that I would put in here between the blade and the scale, and that's because there's caged ceramic ball bearings inside of this, and I'll put a little light gauge, like a 15 weight nano oil in there, and that'll lubricate that up really nicely, make this even more buttery smooth. But this is just really fantastic. I really like this a lot. And you know, I do like the steel version. It's got some weight to it. It feels really balanced. Now, I know the balance is going to be way back here because it's a little heavier with the handles. They're steeled. But one thing you can tell real quick, and I want to show you, the milling that they do, let's see if we can get it on the light here. Yeah, the milling that they do is phenomenal on these steel handles. They really cut down a lot on the weight. And that's on both sides here, if you can see that. They really cut the weight down significantly. That really drops the weight on this. And that allows this thin blade to work really, really wonderfully on this particular blade and be really, really nice. Again, I like the deep pocket carry clip. This is going to be a full deep pocket. You're not going to see anything. It's going to be completely hidden in your pocket, which is great if you're looking for something discreet. I like the stainless steel. That's just really nice. It looks really nice. It looks like a titanium handle. I know in the regular pyrites, I saw on Artisan Cutler's website for CJRB, I saw some titanium handle ones they're coming out with too, and that's going to be right there directly on their website as well. And so the handles are titanium, and it's still with the ARRP M9 blade steel, so that's really nice, which means it's a relatively inexpensive knife. I think those are $69 or $79, which that's a great deal. I mean, to me, that's a budget knife. For all that you get, the regular Pyrite in 2022, this version right here, this was my knife of the year. I loved how they got the thumb studs. I had people who used this, had no issues with this at all. So if you're not a fan of the Fuller, if you're not a fan of the Wharrencliffe, you know, go check out the same version of this, and that looks like this. Now, this is a limited edition. I don't know if these are going to be coming back. These were numbered. It's one of those things I want to hold on to because I really like this a lot. But they do have the regular steel version, and they will have some exclusives from different places. But I know now that the Artisan Cutlery site actually has the titanium handle ones with the blades as well. So you should go check those out. So I just want to be real clear up front. I said to them that when they sent this to me that I would take a look at this, and I'm not going to be just a fanboy. I mean, I am a fanboy because I like the knife already before I was even contacted by these guys. I'm a huge fan of this knife. I'm going to be straight up with you that. But that's a decision I made before they contacted me, and I would take a look at this knife independently on its own merits, okay? And I'm not going to give them extra, you know, props or lie about how I feel about this knife. If there's something I find that I do not care about this knife, I'm going to be straight up and honest with you, okay? I just don't want anybody to think that this is a, if you will, a tainted view or a slanted view because they provided this knife for me. And that's just kind of how I roll and my attitude toward these things. So I just want to be honest about that. And you know, and it's true if any other knife manufacturer ever decides they want to send something to me, I will be straight up honest about it. But here's the thing. I tend to find the aesthetic beauty in the design. Even if it's not for me, I will still appreciate some things, okay? You really have to go far for it to be something that I'm gonna totally dog you on, but I will be honest. I'll be honest about some things that I had issues with. I mean, if you've seen some of my previous reviews, you have seen where I've reviewed some pretty big things lately, and I wasn't a fan. I mean, I definitely appreciated the aesthetic and the engineering and the design, but I mentioned what my hang-ups or issues were and why maybe I didn't keep that in part of my collection, or I returned it, or I sold it, right? So I just want to be really fair about that. But I will tell you, my first initial impression was, with the first Pyrite, is really positive. I like the fuller hole. I really enjoy that aspect because I've been enjoying that a lot on some other knives I've been carrying here. Like lately, this is the Urban EDC F5.5. I got a hold of this one, and this is just pure fuller. It's not a button lock, but the action on this, it is a liner lock, is really fantastic. But this right here, at a fraction of that cost of that one, and don't get me wrong, this is a great knife, highly recommend it, but at a fraction of the cost, this is, first impression is going to be really good. And I'm really looking forward to using this a bit and carrying this a bit and kind of getting my feel for this and how it goes. But I'm telling you, I'm thinking this is going to be a winner. I think they did a really nice thing. For some of you guys, it doesn't seem like a big enough variation. Maybe you're not a Wharrencliffe fan. Maybe you're not a Fuller fan. And for you, this means nothing. And so if you like the Pyrite, stay with it. If you didn't like the Pyrite, this may not woo you or pull you over to be a fan. But for some of you who are Wharrencliffe fans, this might be your ticket to a beautiful knife experience with a button lock and how this is made, because they just get so many things right. I mean, yes, this is not recessed, but they, you know, the one thing, I'm just going to say this. When you make it left and right-handed, one of the things sometimes they do is they recess this, right? And there's two things that people do. It looks really great on the side where it's recessed and you have recessed screws, and so it's out of the way and it slips in and out of the pocket, plenty of room, clearance, all that stuff's great. But here you have an open gap. And, you know, it's sharp, or it catches, and it's kind of annoying sometimes to me. Or they put a little piece in there that kind of holds it in place, which is nice, but the problem with that is sometimes you lose that piece. sometimes, sometimes that piece kind of stands out if you decide to do something with the scales, like if you were to anodize or something like this. Now, this is steel. I know you can anodize titanium. I'm sure you can do something with this. Maybe you can Cerakote it or something. But if you did that, you would have to deal with that little insert, right? And then that insert with any kind of material that you put over it would have to fit in there, so you might have to trim that or sand it down to fit perfectly. I like this because, first of all, the screws are recessed, so they go in really nice. There's plenty of room here. Perfect clip, goes up a little bit, but this is not way up there where it's like sticking up and ready to poke you or anything, but it's going to be exactly the same on both sides. I think that's really nice. I will say when I grip this, let's do the squeeze test. Yeah, okay, I'm not feeling that, just like over here. Now, obviously, this is a milled titanium clip, and so this is super comfortable and choking up super comfortable. I love this thing, but this with the little lip here, it's not digging in. And let's choke up a little bit and squeeze. Yeah, it's really nice, really nice. No hot spots. They've chamfered all the edges around this knife really well. I do like that. That's a great touch. Again, when it's engaged, the lock is in there. It does stick up a little bit. So if you're over here, if you're left-handed and you hold here, I think you'll be perfectly fine. If you choke up and you do this, can you? I'm going to see how far it goes before you release it. Okay, so I have to be totally, let me see, I want to see that. See if we can do this together. All right, so it has to be perfectly level all the way in flat before it disengages the plunge lock. You can see that, the plunge lock, and I got to tell you, this is something else I've noticed here. Let me see. Well, that's interesting. It's not noticeable, but I think, yeah, I think that plunge lock is a little bit higher, which I really do like that. I like that. You know why? Because you have more surface area contacting the tang of the blade to really keep that engaged in there well. And it is solid. There's no play. Yeah, there's no blade play. No left or right, up and down. It is solid in there. I do like that. So I don't know if you can see that. That plunge lock, it's a little bit, it comes up further. I don't know if that's because the spring is stronger or, it's able to come out further, but it sure looks like there's more surface area engaging the back of the blade. It looks like if I was to say like this was a detent, then that's what this is equivalent to, right? It's like equivalent to a detent. I would say we're at 50 to 60% engagement right there. And for a frame lock or liner lock, that's solid. That's solid. I like that. Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't realize that. I'm just sorry. I just find that fascinating. Yeah, this one's not quite as engaged, but I mean it's still solid. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, with any button lock, I would not make this like go. If you're going to cut logs, cut trees and create firewood, I wouldn't use this. I would get a fixed blade. That's just my thing. Get a fixed blade. That's a safer knife for something bushwhacking kind of stuff. But if you're doing everyday EDC, I mean, this is great. Cutting boxes, you're cutting shrink wrap, you're cutting plastic around cases of water, sodas, you're cutting open Christmas boxes or birthday gifts, you're opening Amazon packages. This is all day long, and this is really nice for those Amazon packages because, I mean, I don't know, you can just really cut that really perfectly, right? You can control that, how deep you want that cut to be. I think that might be a little bit, yeah. I mean, I can still do it over here, but that Wharrencliffe allows you to, here I have to be a little more at that angle to do that. So there is some benefit with a Wharrencliffe, right? You can definitely control that cut a little bit better as you go through. So that's nice. Yeah. Again, the blade is nice and chamfered. It's rounded on top. There's no sharp edges. You're not going to dig in there. So far, yeah, I mean, even down here, it's not sharp or anything like that. That's fantastic. And you've got a little cutaway right in here as well. I mean, just like on the other one, it's not as prominent, I think. Is it? No, it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same. And this one right here is made for the thumb stub, right? But this right here, I mean, if I put my finger here and I go in and I get the top of that, still perfect. You see that? Still easy to flip. If I let that guide me into the fuller hole, yeah, that works perfect. Yeah, if I do the same on the other, yep, the same thing as well. So if I come in here, let it guide me into the fuller hole, yeah, I'm gonna have a nice front flick deployment if I let it go into the angle. And the only thing is because I'm not a lefty, I want to go out instead of down. Over here, I have no problem going down. But as a lefty, you know, I'm sure that's a little more natural. And the pocket clip would be over on this side, and this wouldn't be pushing my hand up. And that's what I've noticed over here. I'm a little more flat on here. So it's a little easier to get in here where this is pushing. Yeah. Anyways, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's still dead center. So that's great. All right, so that's my first impression. I know it took a little time, but you know, this is kind of a special thing. You know, the fact that I'm very appreciative. I'm appreciative to Artisan Cutlery for recognizing the channel and appreciating them and appreciating all my wonderful subscribers out there. So what's the big deal about this? Well, after I do the review, after I've done my testing on this, and it's not any hardcore testing. I don't do deep, you know, I don't go cutting, you know, ropes and things like that. But I'm going to carry this. I'm going to get a feel for it. I'm going to be definitely opening some, you know, dog food bags and some cases of water and stuff like that. But after I've done all that and do my final review, this is going to be a giveaway on Rob's Nerdy Knives. We will be giving this knife away to one of our subscribers, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that this is a future giveaway. We will have a special giveaway evening, and this will be somebody's knife who is a subscriber to our channel. So just want to let you guys know this is going to be an upcoming giveaway, and I'm really excited about giving this away as a first-time gift that we received, and a way for us to pass along and to the subscribers so you guys can enjoy some of the benefits of the channel. I mean, I'm honored that they did this for the channel, but I want to honor you guys because you're the ones that made this happen by then passing this knife on to you. So anyways, looking forward to doing that in the near future after we've done the review and everything. But if you guys have any questions, please comment down below. If you have any ideas for the unboxing, something you'd like to see, any ideas for the review, something you'd like me to discuss, please let me know. If you have any questions about this knife, please let me know as well. I do try to respond to all the comments, and I really appreciate you guys watching today. And as like with all my reviews, if you found this interesting, fun, or just worthwhile, would you consider hitting the like button down below? I would really appreciate that. And if you've already hit the like button, would you also consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking to this channel is huge. It really helps me out a lot, and it really allows me to do more things like this, which I'm super excited about. And if you've already subscribed, maybe consider hitting the notification button so you can be notified of upcoming content that I drop. And then if you've done all that, maybe, if you wouldn't mind, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. That's robs_nerdy_knives on Instagram. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. You guys have a great day and a great week. Bye.